Well, hey everybody, welcome back to Slot Rods. Today we're going to discuss some more the magnetic racing stuff. Back in the fall I made a big purchase, just now starting to get to some of the stuff. There's two large bridges, 2-lane bridges. Over here is bridge supports. Then we've got another pit building. A large motorized Ferris wheel. That was a new addition that I saw. I'm like, I gotta get that. They have another large illuminated sign. It has LEDs they're basically point down LEDs, but I may make some different housings for the lights. And then what we're going to mess with today, they have new LED illuminated gantries. So I've already built two half gantries, the Heineken and the Mobile 1. So I picked up the Firestone, the Pirelli, and the Chevron, and they all come with an LED kit. So we are going to work on the Pirelli one today. Now that we've got it unpacked, we'll take a look at the different parts. When you get these, they have the instructions online. I highly suggest you follow the instructions as you go to a T. It's easy to screw up or put the wrong piece in the wrong place, and then you're in a mess. But we've got the gantry parts here. We've got the left and right side of the front of the gantry. This is where you put the plastic pieces, the salt and sand boxes. More of the gantry parts, the top and bottom. You can see the bottom here with a hole cut out for the wiring, and then all the base material. Up here you have the translucent red Pirelli plastic pieces that go in here, and then you have the LED light strip. I haven't looked at the instructions yet. I assume this would probably be either installed on the bottom or the top, and then either shining up or down, and then the light reflects. So I may do those inside pieces silver to help with the light reflection, but we'll see as we get on with the instructions. But what I will do is build each little section individually. I'll spray paint them with my airbrush, and then we'll eventually assemble the final structure. So we'll get on with that. What I've done here is I've cut out the upright part of the gantry, and of course just use a little X-Acto knife. There's a few little retainer nubs that you want to cut through just to open it up, and that'll leave a little bump part on your pieces. And then I just use a little Tamiya file to clean that off so everything's nice and smooth. Now, since this is a Pirelli one, I'm probably going to paint the gantry itself red. And then the piece here where the letters go in, I will do that with a yellow. I don't like to do any priming right away. These things have pretty tight tolerances. So I like to do it in pieces, and then once I get this installed, I've still got to cut out some of the cross members, but I'll get this put together. Once it's ready, then I will prime that and then go ahead and paint. It's got some extra pieces here, the ones with the little bolt burnouts. Those will go on here on these pieces afterwards. I'll probably do that in like a dark steel color with this being red. But we'll get this put together and then get it primed and ready to go. And while that's drying, we'll move on to the other pieces. Back at the table after some painting. This is actually a day or two later. One thing I'd recommend when using this MFD, when you go to paint, you might want to use more than one coat of primer. This MFD will soak up paint pretty good, especially with the primer. Sometimes one coat just isn't enough, and when you go to spray regular paint over top, you'll see it beat up a bit. So it might be worth your time to just go ahead and give it an extra coat or two. But we've got the main pieces painted red for Pirelli. Then the pieces that are going to be part of the overhead box are yellow. Then the red plastic will go inside. On the inside of these, I painted a metallic silver just to give more reflection for the LED lights. But what we'll do now is we'll flip these over. We'll put in the plastic pieces and we will glue those in with some Mod Podge. So we're going to go ahead and assemble that piece now, and then we'll be back to show you how it all looks. All right, here we are at the end of the build. A couple things I want to go over. Usually for these, I've been using like regular spray paints and primers, like the Rust-Oleum primers, and I have one really nice metallic silver paint I like to use. But here's the problem. The off-gassing and the dry time on those are just way too long. Even after almost a week, like the little silver pieces here, they're still tacky. I also do 40K painting, and their primers they dry super fast, no tack. The only thing is they're like $20 a can, but I think it's worth it for the handling them, the time involved in the off-gassing. I'm also think I'm just going to switch over to using my airbrush and my airbrush paints just to deal with that and solve it and make it a lot better. I also recommend nitrile gloves, especially when you're doing gluing. Sometimes if your fingers touch that stuff, you can leave fingerprints in the paint, or if you get a little bit of glue on your fingers, you might be leaving parts of your skin on the pieces. Now, most of this is done. I did not do I painted them, these pieces. I don't know if I'm going to use them. I've done them before so you can see how it looks. On my other one, I put some old motors in them for ballast. I also glued a little piece on this side that keeps the top from sliding off. So if you glue it down, but you want to be able to put stuff in it, that little piece there, just glued on the bottom, keeps it from sliding off. So it just sits like that. And the unit does come with multiple bases. It's got a long base here to go under the track, a single short base, and a wider base where you can put the boxes. Each has a hole for the wiring. Now, since my track's just on the floor, I don't permanently mount them into the base. I just pressure fit them. because eventually I hope to build a raised track and mount things permanently, and then I'll drill through it and run the wire down through. So it's, for the time being, it's just going to be the way it is. I've also spray painted the railing silver. Those will go in the railing spots around it if I decide to use that section. And of course, the lighting is all hooked up, so we'll turn that on. Anything under 12 volts, more than 12 volts will blow it. So right there we're at about 8 volts. And then we just crank it all the way up to 12. So it looks really good. Like I said, I've painted a lot on the interior with silver to get more reflection. I also used magnets to take one side off in case the light strip goes bad. I'll show you that now. So that's why you're seeing some darkness here. I've got some stuff in there for magnets, but let me lay that down. I think it's this side. We'll see. Nope, must be the other side. Yeah. So I just put in pieces here and put magnets in. And I've got magnets on the back side. So that just holds it in place. If the light strip ever goes out, I can just easily take this out, remove the light strip, and I'm back in business. And you can do that without destroying the model. So I thought about that just halfway through the build. I'm thinking, what happens if this goes bad? I'll have to just tear the thing apart to get the LED out. So I kind of suggest you do that. Neodymium magnets on Amazon are pretty cheap. And you just use some scrap from the wood that comes with it and just glue those in there, and you are good to go. So that will conclude this episode. Thanks for watching.